It's Keith from Vector Off-Road, and today we're going to be doing an install on a JL Wrangler Exo Rack. Cool thing about the Exo Rack is it gives you a great place to relocate your license plate, carry some extra fuel, and it also has provisions for your third brake light and backup camera. Let's get into it. Before you order your Exo Rack, you're going to need to take a simple measurement. We're going to want to measure from the wheel mounting surface, which is where your wheel mounts to your tire carrier, to the outer edge of your tire where the Exo Rack is going to sit. I'm just going to use a basic straight edge. You can use a level or anything you've got laying around. Put it up against the tire, and if you have a small enough tape measure, you can just stick it right through the lug hole and measure to the inside edge of your straight edge. So I'm right about 6.5 inches. I can get on Vector's website, punch in my info, and it'll tell me exactly which bolt size I'm going to need. The spare tire and wheel is going to sandwich this plate to the tire carrier, which is going to give us the base for mounting the Exo Rack to. Let's go over and work on a vehicle that's have the tire removed, and we'll take it step by step. This is the Exo Rack sandwich plate. You can see there's a variety of hole patterns on here. We do have universal application Exo Racks as well as JK specific Exo Racks. Today we're working on the JL, like we said. The first step in installing this is just going to be to slide this right onto your tire carrier. Now it is important to note that this will work on most tire carriers, but if you have something protruding out the middle, extra lips, anything that's going to keep this from sitting flat on your tire carrier, it's going to not allow it to work. So just make sure it's open 3 lug, and it should work for most lug applications. Get your tire back on with your sandwich plate in between the carrier and your wheel. Then what you're going to want to do is just tighten up your lug. As you tighten though, you're going to want to hold your sandwich plate right in the middle so that it all gets centered up. Okay, I'm going to remeasure on this wheel. I'm 8 inches from the wheel mounting surface out to this straight edge where the Exo Rack is going to sit, so I can reference a website and figure out which size bolt I need. In your parts kit, you're going to have a jam nut, large washer, and your predetermined bolt. Take some Antiseize, put it on your threads liberally. If you don't use Antiseize on these large bolts, you will gall up your threads and have major issues, so make sure to either use Antiseize, or if you don't have Antiseize, use some grease or something else in your sandwich plate and on your thread. Okay, you're going to want to put your washer on, then slip your bolt through the plate. Once the bolt is through, take your jam nut, thread it onto your bolt, and run it all the way up to the top. You're going to adjust that back down after you get this bolt into the sandwich plate on the vehicle. Also in your parts kit, you're going to find the Teraflex camera housing, as well as the light and antenna riser. This camera housing and light riser are going to bolt right here using the supplied hardware. There is an adapter plate in the Teraflex kit for mounting your backup camera to. You can see over here we've already got this one installed, but it's very easy. It bolts in there, and then this trim piece goes right over the top like that. If you've purchased add-on roto packs, you'll want to install them now before you put the plate on the vehicle. Install them horizontally so that the roto packs cans end up standing vertically, giving you room for your camera and license plate. Now that you've got these accessories mounted, you're ready to install it on the vehicle. I'm going to put a little more Antiseize here in the sandwich plate, so this will thread in nice and easy. Use an 1 1/8" socket to tighten the bolt up so that you suck the Exo Rack tight against the tire, preventing it from wanting to twist. Once that's done, you can come in with an adjustable wrench or an open-end wrench and tighten up your jam nut inside. Now that the Exo Rack is mounted to your spare tire, we're going to need to reroute the factory third brake light and backup camera wiring so it can reach the new locations. You'll need to pull out the interior trim panel on your tailgate to access the wiring. And you can see this factory wiring that we're going to need to reroute through here in order to get the extra length to reach the exo rack. You'll need to pull the wiring from these two connectors, your camera and your brake, through the tailgate. Get the connectors through and bring them all the way out. Use a panel tool to pop these loose. And then you're going to want to unravel the wiring harness all the way back to here. Snip the wire ties holding the harness on. As you're snipping these wire ties and cutting open your sheath, be very careful not to cut any of the factory wires. Now we've got the 3 different wire harnesses separated. We can re-tape this one that we didn't move back together. Make sure you've got the right ones that are going to go through the tailgate baffle. It's the white connector and the black connector. We've retaped the 2 different legs of the harness. We'll go ahead and reconnect this, and these will go through the baffle. I'm going to use a couple of zip ties to run back through the back side of these to reattach it to the tailgate. Take the old zip tie in and just push it through, and then pull it out, and you can run a new zip tie right through the same opening and reattach the wiring. Find the location in your tailgate baffle that's easiest to run the cables through so that you can pass them through to the tire carrier. Feed the wires all the way till you get to the connectors. Most of the time you can leave these connectors inside of the baffle so they stay clean. And then pick an inconspicuous spot on your wheel where you can run your wires through to get out to the exo rack. Pull both of the wire connectors through the back center of the housing for the camera. This is your third brake light. This is for your backup camera. Go ahead and snap your camera connector on. Before you attach the third brake light housing, you'll want to put on your rotopacks. You'll reuse the factory third brake light and attach it to the Teraflex mount. Take your factory wire, run it through the opening in the mount, snap it together, then run it over the camera mount and attach the lever. We've taken off the rotopacks to show how to do this easier. The license plate attaches here, and then you've got 2 1/4-20 bolts. They'll thread into the insert. We've got the entire JL exo rack installed now. We've got our third brake light, we've got our camera relocated, we've got our license plate off of our bumper, and we've got our 2-gallon Rotopacks gas containers. If you need a license plate light, we recommend just getting a simple bolt light. You can get them off Amazon or at local auto parts stores. You'll have to run some additional wiring for those if your state requires it. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoy your exo rack. Until next time, this is Keith from Vector Off-Road. See you on the trails.